like Beatles in the city. Be back immediately to confiscate the money. Right here. Wow. Send flowers, but you said you didn't receive. But you said you didn't need. That girl is a real.
Hi, my name is Sarafina Solomon. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about chronic stress. Okay, stress is when you feel overwhelmed or run down, but chronic stress is those same exact feelings, but when you feel that you have no control of what is going on, your endocrine system responds to it, which corticosteroids are released. Yeah. So, typical day of a college student might be stressful. My life, however, chronic stress, is currently after 7:30 and trying to wake my 4-year-old up. And he just tosses and turns. He doesn't want to wake up. And this is where it begins for me. Yesterday I had 2 exams in my anatomy class, back to back. Stressful. Finals week is coming up. Stressful. And then I recently got a promotion at work where I'm learning all these new things. So that's bittersweet, but it's also stressful. Chronic stress is not something that I feel that anyone should go through. You should always try to have a different method to kind of relieve your stress, or always have some type of alone time. But yeah, it's 7:30 and my stress level is here. I have a 9:30 class, and due to the fact that this kid doesn't wake up every single morning, it begins really, really early. Some people's day don't start until 12, and maybe their stress might come along later days. Not every day is stressful. But today, I'm already at the top.
I say, can I get you was making my tea, please?
No, you have to wake up.
But I did that yesterday.
You gotta wake up.
I'm tired.
Hey Justin, you ready for finals week?
Yeah, I was pretty stressed out, but I went and pet the puppies the other day and I feel a lot better. But the puppies, they really helped me relieve stress and made me feel better about everything I had going on.
What do you think stress is?
I feel like stress is how you react to outside events, things that happen in your life.
What else do you think you can do to relieve stress for finals week? I need help. Help me.
Well, usually I like to go work out or ride my bike or get outside for a little while.
Being active helps you use sublimation to get that out the way, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
As a college student at 8:30 in the morning, there's a lot running through your brain. Majority rules that a lot of it is not going to be how your brain works and how memory is stored. However, this is exactly what is being done, although you are unaware of it. There's a lot of decisions that you have to make in the morning, some conscious, some unconscious. Conscious ones being, what flavor of coffee do I really want to be drinking today, rather than what step comes next in my makeup routine. It's something that you do unconsciously. It's an automatic process for you. Whereas conscious, being a novel information, remembering someone's name, deciding what cup of coffee you want, that's a choice you have to make. Now, this is all about encoding. Your brain decides what it wants to keep in several ways, and it's done in multiple different practices. Encoding can be done by chunking, which is grouping set different pieces of information together, or it does it by rote rehearsal, which is more so replaying facts over and over in your brain. These things are crucial for you to know what you're doing that day. This works seamlessly without you even knowing in the morning, which is pretty cool.
So how do you think you did?
I really think that I did bad. Like, it was really, really bad. I really didn't know how to do multiple choice, but I think I bombed, like, the open-ended
Well,
section.
you never know, because if you actually think about it, you think you do bad now, so why don't you just ask her?
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to Bradley about it now.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Professor Bradley, can I talk to you about how I did on my test? I'm not really sure how I did on my open-ended.
Well, I think you did a nice job on the multiple choice questions. I can tell that you're learning the concepts the way I'd hoped you would. I think what happens with the open-ended questions is that it's harder for you to apply the concepts you've learned. So maybe some time in the Learning Center would help you get better at that so you can get perfect scores on those quizzes.
Okay, thank you.
So what'd she say?
So that settles that. She basically told me that I was crap at the open-ended, and now I think I got like a 52 out of 100.
Calm
That
down,
was bad.
I don't
Oh
think
my
you're
gosh.
crap. Maybe you didn't do so hard as you
It's
thought
so
you did.
horrible. Oh my god.
Hey, there's more tests in the semester. Hi, Professor Bradley. You said you wanted to speak with me?
Hi. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit because I'm a little concerned with your progress in the course.
I thought I was doing okay.
Well, you've missed a number of assignments and your test scores haven't been as good as they might have been. So right now, it doesn't look like you're doing as well as I think you believe that you're doing.
Thank you for letting me know.
What would you like to do about it?
Is there assignments? Is there a way I can still turn in the assignments? Or extra credit of sorts?
Yes, there's a couple assignments that you've had in the last 2 learning units you can still work on.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm really sorry, but when you went to go to the bathroom, I went to go like mess with your stuff, and I dropped your phone, and then my water bottle got knocked over, so your phone's a little broken.
For the love of...
I'm really sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Cognitive experience, the brain's remembered response to experiencing an emotion.
So how did you do on your test, Peter?
Wow, I did really great. I got a 94%.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I could do that, but because on the last test, you wouldn't believe what I got.
How did you do on it?
I got a 50, but now it shows that I'm really good at this stuff.
But how did you feel when you got that 50?
I did not feel good. I can tell you that I did not feel good, but this test has definitely made me feel better because now I can do the things that I did on the last test so easy. How'd you do?
Not so great.
I'm sure you'll do really good next time.
Hopefully.
Oh, how awkward was that earlier with Chad?
Yeah, you obviously forgot his name.
Troy, why weren't you at practice yesterday?
I was with Gabriella. We were auditioning for the winter musical.
Oh, hey, Troy.
Oh, hey, Gabriella.
Aren't you going to introduce us?
Oh, yeah. Gabriella, this is, Chad, Gabriella, it's Chad.
Nice to meet you, Chad.
Nice to meet you, Gabriella.
I just wish I had a word to describe how awkward that was.
Yeah, it's almost like not having a word for that in the English language is constraining your ability to think. Actually, that's kind of like the linguistic relativity hypothesis, right?
Sure. Soren.
Okay, this isn't working.
Jordan, can you tell me, like, how you study? Like, what do you do? Like, I'm trying to sit here and I'm trying to read this, but, like, I don't understand what's going on.
I got,
Like,
I got a million different tactics. Can you study in the quiet? Can you study with music? What?
I mean, I don't know. I don't really think it matters. Like, it's just, I'm reading over this information and I'm trying to memorize it. Like, I'm trying to memorize, like, what exactly psychology is and stuff like that. And, like, I just can't get it to stick in my head.
Okay. So here's what I did. If you got a list of something, I use anagrams. Like how they said discuss, for the learning unit, they said discuss the different types of anxiety disorders. So I just list them in order. General, phobia, panic, OCD, PTSD, GPPDOP.
Okay. All right, that might work.
And for the rest of the stuff, I use music. Put everything to a beat. Works for me.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Good.
Conscious, awareness of self, awareness of environment. ASAE, ASAE. Conscious awareness of self and awareness of environment. All right, check.
Hey, Emily. Great job.
Thank you.
A major part of being a student revolves around our memory. This is required for testing, for anything our study guides, questionnaires, things we fill out, polls we get caught up in doing. Now, all of this information is stored in either two ways: your short-term memory or your long-term memory. A short-term memory is something that is encoded and kept at the ready on the surface. A question you know the answer to because your teacher just said it in class. What did you come home for? Well, you see the book sitting right there and suddenly you know. Whereas long-term memory is something that you have to work for. It's in your brain, it just needs to be retrieved. It's a little deeper down and it's not as complex. This is something like maybe having to find an answer in that book because you just can't figure it out otherwise. Or maybe it's something a little harder, like you took a class in college that you had taken in high school. Now your professor asks you, what was on that syllabus? Well, that's not likely something that you'll be able to spit back an answer to right away. It's something you'll have to go back to and find. This is kind of how memory works, broken down into two sections, both extremely vital for students.
Hindsight bias, a person's erroneous belief that he or she knew something all along after an event has occurred.
4.52? Are you kidding me?
Hey, Peter, how'd you do on that test?
Dude, I got an 85%.
85?
Yeah, because I put down the wrong answer and I thought I had it right.
On this one?
Yeah, I have no idea what I was thinking. I put 4.51, and I knew the answer was 4.52.
Yeah, I mean, well, something with the J up here looks wrong when you're writing the minus right there. See the minus in red?
Oh, that's supposed to be a plus, huh?
Yeah, man, because when you're doing it up here, when you
Why
got
did
your...
I even put, it's just a line. I don't know why I didn't put plus.
I mean, yeah, because when you go through your sines and cosines, and you do the unit circle of your vectors, you start breaking them down. You realize it's supposed to be a plus. When you do the impulse, if it was a kilogram times a meter per second to get the velocity, it did become a plus and not a minus.
Oh, man. And then he took off 3 points for that. Brought me all the way down to 85%.
Yeah, I got an 82, so, I mean, I did some stupid mistakes as well, but it is what it is, you know?
Well, next time we have to pay more attention.
Yeah, I guess so.
We got it right.
Hey guys, I just wanted to take a quick minute to explain altruism. So in layman's terms, altruism is doing something good for someone else without getting anything in return or worrying about your own well-being. So we're here at Women's Resources where I volunteer at least once a week. I feel like I'm always here. And I want to talk to you about why college kids might volunteer. So why do we do it? I know I volunteer here because it's near and dear to my heart. I love it. I love volunteering. But if you really get down to the nitty-gritty, I do it because it makes me feel good. And it looks really great on college applications. So there's a theory, well, not really a theory, but more debate in psychology right now about altruism and whether or not it even exists. Do people volunteer or do things for other people because they feel good about it, or because they just have this innate ability to do things without worrying about themselves. You decide.
Hi there, I'm Lori, and I'm going to be discussing how agreeableness plays a significant part in my daily life as a student. Now, before getting into that, let me tell you a little bit about what agreeableness is. It is one of the 5 personality traits in the Big 5 personality theory, or the 5-factor model. Now, this theory explains that our personalities are defined to 5 different factors, one being openness to experience, conscientiousness, extroversion, neuroticism, and of course, agreeableness. Now, persons who score high on the agreeableness scale are often seen as warm and friendly. They are persons who generally have a good disposition and an optimistic view on human nature. So basically, they get along well with others. Conversely, those who score low on the agreeableness scale are often seen as selfish, lacking in empathy, manipulative, and competitive rather than cooperative with others. So how exactly does that fit into my daily life? I love being helpful. It truly is within my nature to be a helpful person. So even if I have 1,000 things that I'm working on, I always try to make room for 1 or 2 or 3 more things. The dark side of that is that it's really hard to say no, even when I have more on my plate than I know how to handle.
Okay, style shifting. Style shifting is the habit of a person to adapt his or her style in accordance to someone they're talking to. For example, if I'm talking to a professor, I'm going to talk to them in a different way than I would talk to my friends. This was developed by social linguist Alan Bell in 1984. He theorized everything we say is directed towards a particular audience. Style shifting, however, is not always effective if it comes across as false. If you're like trying to go up to like some group of younger people and you're like, hey, what's up, homie? But they don't believe it. Okay. What's up?
What's up, dog? You do the homework the other night?
No, we're still for that homework.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, give me 1 second, I gotta call.
Alright, I'll catch you later.
Yeah, see you. Hey, Mom, how are you?
Okay, stop me if you heard this before. It's the day before a big presentation and I'm totally freaking out. So what do I do instead of practicing my speech?
Roll over. Roll over. Roll over.
Okay, so I know it might seem like I was just slacking off, but I was actually trying to manage the stress and anxiety that public speaking has for me. Now that I've taken a little break, I'm ready to get started and start practicing. A little coffee helps though. So the day comes and I'm still totally nervous. Public speaking anxiety affects 1 in 3 people. I may never completely get over it, but it helps when I try to cope and I manage my stress. I've rehearsed and I've researched and I'm ready to ace this speech.
And that's why video games are awesome.
False consensus effect, a person's tendency to overestimate the extent to which others share his or her beliefs and behaviors.
So, did you guys see the policy that Trump's thinking about putting into place in January about people burning the flag?
I heard a lot of kids talk about it in the last class, and I was just listening to what they had to say. I didn't see anything on the news yet about it, but from what I figured out was like, there's a proper place to burn the flag at. I know like the Boy Scouts, I don't think other organizations do it, but if you need to go there, they'll be able to take care of it properly. If they're trained the right way to do it, those are the people that should do it, unless you know how to do it yourself.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good thing. People should not be disrespecting the flag.
And the only other thing they were talking about in that class was kind of funny was everyone's freaking out about this whole wall thing. So what do you guys think about that going on?
It sounds kind of outrageous to me. Like, could Trump actually implement that?
You mean, what about you, Zach?
I think maybe it could work. We'll have to see in January or whatever. What about you, Psych?
Who knows? I don't know. Peter, we'll go to class.
Yeah, sorry guys, we have to
Talk about it later.
Hey, catch you later, guys.
Bye.
Can you believe what they were talking about?
Yeah.
And they didn't even know that we don't have class.
Ridiculous.
I'm voting for Hillary.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, hey Troy, what are you doing later? Do you want to go see a movie?
I can't.
Why not?
I have a group project for marketing that I'm working on. I'm stuck with this girl, Teresa.
What's wrong with Teresa?
I mean, nothing. She's just got like 3 kids, so she's a non-traditional student. I bet she thinks she knows everything.
That's a nasty stereotype.
Nasty stereotype? Gabriella, she literally told me that all millennials are conceited.
Of course she said that.
Oh, do you want to take a Snapchat selfie really quick?
Of course.
Yeah.
There are more than a list of names. There are people who loved and were loved. There are people who had families and friends and dreams.
A 17-year-old transgender teen committed suicide on Sunday after her Christian parents refused to accept her, she wrote in a blog post hours before her death.
Open up a conversation so we can talk about this issue because it's out there.
Yeah.
People are dying over this issue.
Right.
He is
Openly
an
gay.
openly gay, HIV positive man. And let's talk about
Javier Munoz, and he was part of Out Magazine's 100.
But Don,
Yeah.
this is against a vice presidential, vice president-elect who wanted to use HIV/AIDS money for conversion therapy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what that's like for that man in that space?
They are more than just people or faces in a newspaper. They are your classmates. They are your professors, your friends. But the stigma and the injustices committed against the LGBTQA community affect all of us. In America, they are the top group targeted for hate crimes. Teens and high school students commit suicide over not being accepted or bullied over their gender or sexual identity.
LGBT rights are human rights.
So what can us students at NCC do? We can participate. We can inform. We can stand together.
Everyone has the freedom to live openly and equally. A nation that's stronger together.
And we can make a difference because we are NCC.
Gender differences refers to the average group difference between males and females. So in my Calc 2 class,
Could I set that equal 0?
You could, but what is that going to do?
it's all guys.
Oh,
Well, let me see here. You kind of need to know where this value right here is, right?
0.
And this value right here.
Pi over 2.
So you kind of need to know where the two intersect.
Why do you think it's pi over 2 though?
So yeah, if you said these two right here equal to one another, and that would certainly tell you where the two
Ariel and I,
intersect.
this is the only two girls in here.
For that one.
I just want to know what the interior is.
I don't think that should be a loop.
Action. Thank you. Ooh. Thank you. Hi everybody, it's me again, and as you can see from outside, it's later in the day and I just finished class and I'm headed to work. What I wanted to talk to you about was gender bias on campus versus when college students go to work. So I have Dr. Pressy Schroyer here, and I asked her to talk to us a little bit about some of the challenges that students might face.
Hi everyone.
So one of the things that I've observed both in my own professional career and in my feminist studies in graduate school is sort of the gap or the differences between being out in the real world in industry and sort of what we study and what we practice in academic life. So when you're in college, frequently we end up talking about feminist ideals and not allowing women to be disrespected. We talk a lot, and even in most careers, you might see sexual harassment videos about how women shouldn't be dismissed, they shouldn't be insulted, or you want to be really careful about the language that you use with each other. And yet, when you actually get out into the work world, it's really frequent that you might see women who actually do end up hearing things being said in the workplace, or actually experiencing things like physically getting handled by other people in ways that are not appropriate. And yet women have to worry about keeping their jobs. And so it becomes much harder to actually fight harassment when you actually have to worry about whether or not that affects your job. And so on one hand, we have being in the classroom where we want to emphasize everybody's agency and their power and respect for everyone, and getting out into actual life where sometimes it's not ideal and we haven't made as much progress as we'd really love to have made by now.
That was great. I loved it. One thing I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about is my own personal experience. I know every college student is different, but I just think it's really interesting, the two worlds that we constantly have to walk this fine line. We're in school, we're encouraged to voice our opinions and be intellectual, whereas I'm about to go to work and my opinion isn't exactly valued. But anyway, I hope you guys learned a little bit about gender bias, and I'll see you tomorrow.
It's Lori again. Now remember how we were discussing earlier on my agreeable nature? Well, it is precisely this agreeable nature that leads me into my next topic, which is that of role overload. Now, in social psychology, role overload is the acting out of socially defined categories. For example, that of being a spouse, a parent, a child, or a student. Each one of these roles has its own set of duties, its own set of expectations, behaviors that each person brings to the role when they fulfill it. Now, it's also that same deviation or the failure of expectation in a person's mind that leads into feeling this role overload or the stress of not meeting that ideal in a person's mind. So while you may be thinking that it's probably true that I add to my own life stressors, my role overload has more to do with the roles that I play in my daily life, that of being a wife, that of being a mother and a student. So most days it hits me early evening when I realize that I have more on my to-do list than I have hours in the day. It creates a great deal of stress on me, and it is the source of many a panic attack when I realize that I have deadlines that are looming and I might not be able to meet them.
Aggression is behavior intended to harm others, and a lot of the time students show aggression toward other students, their family at home, they'll start to do drugs or drive crazy, and that's just a few examples of how students will show aggression. Hey, can I sit with you guys? Absolutely not! I'm so frustrated! Oh my God.
Hi, my name is Sarafina Solomon, and I am not your traditional Northampton student. I am a mom of a 4-year-old little boy. His name is Elijah, and I also work 2 jobs. My sleeping habits are completely out of control. Some days I get 6 hours sleep, some days I get 8 hours sleep, sometimes I get 4 hours of sleep. There's just never any telling how my days are gonna go. There are 5 different stages of sleep that are all very important. There are stages 1 through 4, and then there's also REM sleep. Stage 1 and 2 are typically your lighter stages where you're falling asleep, you can be easily awoken. Stage 3 and 4 are your deeper sleeps where it's harder to wake you up. And REM sleep is typically where you are dreaming, you have rapid eye movements, that kind of thing. If you do not get the required 8 hours of sleep per night, sometimes you miss out on REM sleep, which is actually why you are so tired and then your body shuts down sometimes. This is actually your body craving that REM sleep. I have an app on my phone. The app tells me when it is an appropriate time to go to bed so I can get a full 8 hours and 20 minutes. It's called bedtime mode. So the message reads, at 11:05, the message says, go to bed by 11:15 p.m. to get a full 8 hours and 20 minutes of sleep. I don't know if you guys can see it. It is currently 1:44 and I'm still awake. So I'm not going to get my full 8 hours and 20 minutes of sleep, but I am studying, so I am doing something great. My app also tracks my sleep patterns. So last night I got approximately 6 hours and 45 minutes of sleep. And my monthly average is about 6 hours and 50 minutes of sleep. So on average for the month of November, I have not been getting enough sleep and I am feeling it. But it's crunch time, these grades are almost due, and it's just what you have to do. People have to take the time out to try to get better habits in which you can get more sleep. Some things that I do try, this app is very helpful because there are some nights where I'm like, okay, hey, I need to just go to sleep. I need to just call it a night. And then there's other nights I'm an overachiever and I'm just like, who needs sleep? But yeah, another thing to try is maybe that you can wake up at the same time every single day, even if you are not scheduled to do something. I know that's hard, but it gets your body in a pattern and it makes it easier because if you're up at 8 o'clock every morning, you'll want to go to bed by 10 o'clock every night. It'll give you a balance. That's all for sleep habits. Thanks, guys.
And back to you, Jordan.
Good afternoon. Today we're discussing what's really important for the body and what's more important than sleep. We're discussing parasomnia today, and parasomnia is basically defined as bad sleep. What causes us to sleep bad? There are stresses in everyday lives that can affect the way we sleep. And of course, they say 8 hours is important, but how good are those 8 hours that you're getting? In bad sleep, we can talk, we can walk. Hell, there's a lady that has sex in her sleep who knows how much stress she has going on. Parasomnia is not getting the great sleep that we all require. Do you have parasomnia?